Hello and welcome to another pickups video, this time for November 2016. Now, before I start going through the pickups, just to do a little bit of housekeeping, if you've been watching my Final Fantasy X videos, I do still intend to continue with that. Don't worry, there will be more on the way. It's been a question of time, quite frankly, is the only reason why I haven't done it. And if you're watching my breakdown of the collect and avoid series, I am continuing with that as well, but because I'm doing writing generation 4 at the moment, there's actually quite a lot to go through. So again, time constraints is what the problem's been. I haven't been able to focus enough, as much time as I'd like on those, so they're still being written. That's why I haven't uploaded anymore. I hope everyone's enjoying what's been happening so far. But yeah, so that's basically it. They're still being written because I haven't found the time to write them, because all the real life stuff's got in the way the last couple of weeks. So that's a quick bit of housekeeping. Now, this is going to be a reasonably short pickups video for two major reasons. Number one, it's mid-November, and obviously Christmas is coming up, so that's a reasonably expensive time for most people. Also, I'm looking at doing, I've got my eyes set on entering the 8th generation myself at some point in January or sooner into the new year. So obviously that requires quite a lot of financial outlay, so I'm trying to put some money by for that. So I haven't been spending as much. That's the first reason. The other reason is that basically the charity shops around here seem to have dried up. I was out looking for last minute bargains today, and I went to 10 charity shops, 10, in the space of about an hour and a half. Didn't find a single, well, I say didn't find a single game. I mean, there was innumerable copies of FIFA 09 for the PlayStation 3 and things like that. I mean, but I didn't find anything that I didn't either already have or anything that I was wanted. I mean, if you want Tiger Woods PGA 2003 on the PlayStation 2, come here and go to the charity shops, because you can buy 10 of them. But that's it. They seem, and a couple of them seem to have stopped doing games entirely. Whether that's just a seasonal thing, I don't know. They seem to have a lot of reindeer-y jumpers and things. Anyway, yeah. And the other reason is the games that I have bought. Unusually for me, I have actually spent a reasonable amount of money, not just on games, on other stuff as well, which I'll show you towards the end of the video. I have actually spent a reasonable amount of money in the last 6 weeks or so already. So yeah, that's basically why it's going to be a short video. There's not going to be an awful lot in it because I've already overspent too much. Right, so let's get down to it. I'll start off with cheapest first, I think. So that'll be the charity shop games. And the first one is Dr. Kawashima's Brain Training. Now, everyone who's got a DS owns this game, apparently, apart from me. But what I liked about it was that it was in the older style. I think it's the older style case, the original style case, with the you know, it's got a space in the side here to keep your stylus and things, and it's a really nice case, much nicer than the sort of white ones, the sort of yeah. And I picked this up for really cheaply, $1.99. I found that in the Salvation Army, and that was right back at the beginning of that. Like I say, I went out today, couldn't find anything, so there you go. Next, we've got London 2012 Olympics on the PlayStation 3, again in reasonably good nick. That was 50 pence from Echo, which is another charity. It's just like a recycling sort of charity shop. Not very interesting, I'll grant you, but 50p. How can you go wrong? The Complete Civilization 4 for the PC. Now, I'm not really a PC game collector, but I do like the Civ games. I think I'm missing... The only one I'm actually missing is... There was a expansion pack, I think, for Civilization 3, which I don't have, but I'm not too worried about it. If I find it, I find it. If I don't, I don't. I won't go looking for it. But this is the Game of the Year pack that has all the expansions. Even though Civ 6s aren't now, still good to have, you know, because it's good to go back and play some of the older games. Monsters vs. Aliens on the Wii, which is, you know, a Disney DreamWorks film, which I haven't seen. Again, as usual with games aimed at kids, the case is a bit battered, and you know, it's clearly been well loved or well tortured, whichever way you look at it. But the disc is surprisingly okay. There's a few minor scratches, but you know, again, it was 50p, so if it don't work, I'll throw it away. It doesn't matter. Unreal Tournament on the PlayStation 2. Not really my sort of thing, but you know, I think there was another one that was, another one that was 50p. Again, case is a bit battered, but everything's here. The disc is actually surprisingly good, although it's a CD-based PlayStation 2 game, so unfortunately my PlayStation 2 won't actually read them anymore. So gonna have to figure a way around that. I do have a plan for that, by the way. I'm not just making that as an offhand comment. That will hopefully amount to something in the future. So keep watching, and I'll hopefully detail more about that at some point. Now, to the expensive end of the market. Now, I mentioned in the last pickups video, I think I mentioned anyway, that I was buying some games from Limited Run, which is a company that does, well, they basically take downloadable games and put them on a disc, and you pay, it's usually about $25 to $30 each for these games. The thing that kills me is not only the shipping cost, which is enormous, really, quite frankly, because I've bought stuff from the States on eBay, and it's not cost anywhere near what these lot are punting them out at, and also the delivery time, which is about 6 to 8 weeks, or can be. I mean, I ordered these, I don't know when I ordered these, a few weeks ago, quite a number of weeks ago, and they turned up. So the first one is Thomas Was Alone, which is like a puzzle game, and yep, it's from Limited Run, because there's the postcard and the limited edition sticker that you get with them. I am thinking about seriously doing a video on Limited Run, because the concept that they do is actually quite interesting. I think I've actually got quite a little bit to say about what they do as a whole. They're certainly interesting from a collection point of view, let's put it that way, more than I can really get into in a video that's aimed at pickups, but you know, maybe I'll do a video on their particular, the thing that they do at some point in the future. So again, keep watching for that, because that is another thing that I plan to do. Mystery Chronicle One Way Heroes, which is like an RPG type thing, with this company Spike Chunsoft written all over it. Now, if you've been following one of the Nintendo Switch progress on YouTube, which according to the viewing figures pretty much everyone on YouTube has been, you'll notice that Spike Chunsoft was one of the companies that was mentioned, and I think a fair few people online went, oh, who's they? I've never heard of them. Well, they did this game, which is One Way Heroics. like I say, I'm planning. This is obviously a PS4 game. I don't have a PS4, so I can't tell you any more about it. Other than, look, I'll show you the lovely art. It's a bit disappointing that this one in particular doesn't come with a proper instruction book, though. That's you know, if you're going to go all the way of putting something on a physical copy, then you know, print off a half decent instruction book. But again, I'll save that for the video. I don't know. Here's one that I bought new. Here's one I can open up now. I like the look of the game Rocket League, but I'm not a fan of downloadable titles. I don't consider downloadable content really to be stuff. It's not really a collection, is it? Having a load of stuff downloaded, it's not as fun. It's better to have the physical thing, I always think. Anyway, I was just happily piddling about online, and I didn't even know this had a physical release. I thought it was download only, and then I was on the Argos website, which for any Americans watching, I don't think you have Argos. It's basically a shop where you go in and you look at stuff on a catalogue inventory, and they've got it all in a storeroom, and they go and fetch it for you. It's basically like a shop with no items in it. They do now. I mean, they've tried to. They have a lot of items in the shop now, but when they first started, it was basically you went to a counter with your catalogue number and this is what I want, and they went to the warehouse to find it for you. It was like a cheaper way of doing business. It's basically how Amazon does its business. It's like having Amazon, but 25 years before Amazon existed. It's the same sort of business model. You look through an inventory of stuff, you go, I want that, that and that, and then they go and find it. Only it's in the real world on a high street. Anyway, by the by, any British people watching, you will know what Argos is. I didn't know this had a physical release, and I was just idly pissing about on the Argos website, and this popped up. And it was, what was it? It was ridiculously cheap, actually. £16 that was, on the Argos website. I don't know if it was like a one-day sale or whatever. I thought, well, I had a look, and I did like the look of it. Shame it was download, but now that I can get a physical copy for £16, I thought, why not? So let's open it and see if they've packed anything half decent in here. Probably not, to be honest with you. So we'll get the shrink wrap off that. Yeah, it's all sticky. Ugh. Sticky on the inside. That's weird. The box isn't sticky, so don't know. Right. So what have we got? We've got the disc here. Oh, that's cool. Look, lovely print, collector's edition print, apparently created by Psionics concept artist Jay Zhang with an H. Yeah, that's pretty cool, isn't it? Oh, I might have just shown off that voucher code. I'm going to have to check when I edit this and then blank it out. There's a code for a downloadable something. I don't know. Don't know what that is. It just says extra content. Doesn't say what. Anyway, there's downloadable code for extra content as well. So there we are. 16 quid. I think well spent. Now, there's a couple of things I've been after for a while. In fact, there's one thing that I have been after for a while. And this was an eBay pickup, which I'll show it to you in a minute. This was described in an as new condition. Twice on the listing it was described as new, and the listing didn't go very high, but what annoyed me was that I was, on one occasion while bidding for this, I was outbid, and that annoyed me when this turned up, because I think had they listed what condition it was actually in, then I think I would have got this a lot cheaper. Now, when I tell you the price I did get this for, a lot of people might think I'm just nitpicking anyway, because this game usually goes for a hell of a lot more than that. £17.75, and it was Pandora's Tower on the Wii. So if you know about this game, you'll know it's not exactly rare, but it's considered one of the treasure pieces for the Wii console. and again, it was described as new condition, and I've seen this game go for 40 quid. On the right day, when there's only one, you can see this game easily go for 40 quid. You can often find it online at a cheaper price, but out of stock. So, you know, you maybe go to your local game reseller or retailer and you'll find it, oh, it's 30 quid, 35 quid, out of stock. So, anyway, yeah, described as new. Now, resale stickers all over the instruction book, and if you've ever tried getting these bloody things off, please tell me how you managed to do it, because I have terrible trouble getting these things off. If I show you I've got to be very careful with this case as well. The disc has quite a lot of scratches on it, although it does actually work. I've tested it, it does work, it will read. Quite a lot of surface scratches on it. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but trust me, they're there. I've done a little bit of buffing to it, but I don't want to be too harsh with it. But I mean, the instruction books there, the Club Nintendo things there, it's just irritating that these irritating stickers are all over the instruction book. The other thing is the case. The case is actually broken. And the spine is ripped here, you see. It actually has ripped into the paper underneath. And it arrived like this. I haven't done this to try and make some sort of point. It arrived like this. Now, what you would normally do in this situation is you would go to whichever shop and you would buy a Wii game, say some bullshit sports style, Tiger Woods Wii or whatever. You know, something that costs no money. And for me personally, what I would do is I would repair the paper insert from behind so that it didn't show, and then obviously recase it with the thing. Not to then resell it as new myself. I mean, I would obviously, somebody who's going to buy this, I'm going to tell them about the damage, but just so that it didn't look stupid, you know, just so that I didn't keep looking at it and in horror. But you may have noticed this comes in a black case, and inside the black case it's obviously got the Wii embossing because it is an official game. Try finding a replacement Wii case for this. It's not going to happen, and that's just really unfortunate. Had it been any other game that came in a standard white case, it wouldn't have even been an issue because I would have just recased it. But it's not. It comes in a black case, and trying to actually find a black cased Wii game to replace it with is just, it's ridiculous. You know, I give up. I'll just have to leave it as is and be happy I got the game for the price I did. But I was really not happy with the eBay seller. So there you go. That's my story. I think this was another eBay pickup. Now, again, this is going to be a clue as to which, you know, this listing basically here is going to be a key clue as to which sides I've picked in the 8th generation that I'm going to be going for. And I found this online, which is the Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2 multi-pack. That was, what did that come out as? Including delivery, that was £31.49. So I paid about market rate for this, really. But it is the both of them. It is they are complete in the box and all the rest of it, and they're pretty tight in there actually. So I'm not going to get them out. But yeah. But again, this is another one. They don't come with proper instruction books. I just think it's insane that you pay all this money for what's supposedly a special edition, and they can't even throw in an instruction book. It winds me up. So anyway, that's the last bit. Bayonetta 1 and Bayonetta 2 on the Wii U. No, I don't have. I have Bayonetta on the PS3. I was also under the impression that it came out on the original Wii console. Maybe I'm wrong about that, and I can't really find any of them for sale. But I was utterly convinced it came out on the original Wii as well. So if anyone's got one and can shed some light on that. But I checked eBay and I can't find a single version of the original Wii one for sale. So maybe I've made that up. Because that would be one I'd want to get at some point in the future as well. Now, the last thing I want to show you, and probably the reason why I've really overspent in the last couple of months, or gone well over what I was hoping my budget was going to be, even though I knew I was going to spend this money, because pre-orders, what can you do? There are actually 2 more things that are supposed to be on this list, but they're, again, 2 more things from limited run games, and they haven't turned up yet. As far as I know, they're still sitting on a dock in New Jersey, and have been for over a week. So they won't be here in time, obviously, to make it for this pickups video. They'll have to wait to the next one, which is likely to be in mid-January, at the very least. Anyway, get on with it. My new Nintendo. Obviously, with a second controller as well. I'm not an animal. Now, I bought one of these, the Nintendo Classic Mini. I do intend to do an unboxing of it. In fact, I might film that tonight once I've finished here, because quite frankly, it is now Tuesday the 5th. Where are we? Tuesday the 14th. Is it? No. Actually, that might be later than that. It was the 11th on Friday. Anyway, it's the Tuesday after Friday, the 11th. So I've had this sitting now for nearly 5 days, and haven't opened it because I wanted to do an unboxing video. And again, like I said at the beginning of this video, time constraints. I just literally haven't had the time to do anything that, probably in the last fortnight, other than really go to the shops. Certainly haven't had time to film anything, put it that way. Now, this was 55 quid, and this was another £8, I think, on top of that. But I've bought this set for me. I've also bought another console and controller by taking advantage of some, because even those, everywhere you went, these were limited to 1 per customer. And some places had sold out at all. The official Nintendo site sold out of these things. Arguably, maybe deliberately, because that's what Nintendo like to do, is create false demand with everything. They did it with the Wii, they did it with DS, it's an ongoing story with Nintendo. They like to do that. Anyway, so I bought one for me, I've bought one as a present for somebody else who's never played, who never got the chance to play on an original Nintendo, because I don't currently have one. So I'm really looking forward to it. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, basically, if you take into account the 60, what are we talking now? So 55 plus, so 63 quid. So in total, buying the 2 consoles and 2 spare controllers, you're talking what do we know? £126. Which is far more than I usually like to spend. If you see my pickup videos before, that is well over my budget for a month's worth of game, and all this other stuff combined, especially the Bayonetta box set, which I wasn't going to get really any cheaper than that. Then yeah, and the 2 games I bought from Limited Run, which haven't actually turned up yet. So yeah, that was about it. That's about it for this pickups video. I think, I don't think there's anything else. No, it's just them other 2 I'm waiting for. Oh no, I've done a pre-order with Limited Run as well, but I will probably save that to the video where I can talk a bit more in depth about them. Yeah. So what I shall do probably next. Is I will do the unboxing video for the Nintendo Classic Mini, and also probably as I'm unboxing I will go into some of the, because to be quite frank, and anyone who's into games will know this. If you didn't get one on the day of release, then that is really unfortunate. And I'll probably go into this a little bit as I'm doing the unboxing, but my advice to you is Nintendo's not stupid. They are going to have more of these out for Christmas. You know, I could go on eBay. The second one I've got, instead of giving it as a present to somebody, I could go on eBay now and get, you know, 120, 130 quid, buy it now, and it would sell. I'm not interested in doing that, obviously, because I'm not a scumbag. I mean, I deliberately bought two of them. But if you didn't manage to get your hands on a Nintendo Classic and you do want one, Nintendo isn't dumb. They know that people are going to want them at Christmas time. These are going to be back on the shelves in a couple of weeks. Probably by the first week in December, you'll start to see these back on store shelves. So don't buy from the eBay shitheads. Leave them to sit there and worry about the money they're dwindling away. You know, because sooner or later, even the eBay prices are going to have to come down. So, right, I'll talk about that more in depth in a minute. Oh, well, in a minute for me. Maybe in a minute for you if you've watched the video. Yeah, so what I should do, I'll put an annotation to the unboxing video here. If I end up doing a video on limited run games, and you're watching this at some point in the future, I hope you like your flying car and your meal that comes in a pill. I will put an annotation to the limited run here, now, so you can click on that if I ever decide to do one. And yeah, nothing else to do for the pickups video, and I hope to see you next time.